What if the person you loved most was also the one who destroyed you? You're lying in bed, staring at your phone, heart pounding, mind racing. The messages stopped coming. And yet you keep checking, over and over again, as if the next time you look, something will have changed. Maybe this time they'll apologize. Maybe this time they'll finally say they were wrong. But they never do. You know they won't. It's been weeks, maybe months, since they've left, but it feels like just yesterday you were in their arms. That feeling, that warmth, still lingers, haunting every inch of your body. You want to move on, but it's like there's a tether, invisible yet heavy, pulling you back. Why does it feel like you can't let go? Why does it feel like love is just a word they used to say when they wanted to keep you close, then left you broken when you were too deep? They said they loved you, and you believed them. You believed every word, every promise. And for a while it was like you were living in a dream. They made you feel like you were everything. You didn't need anyone else. But when the dream ended, the truth hit harder than you could ever imagine. You didn't see the signs at first. How could you? Love isn't supposed to hurt. But slowly, over time, the affection became manipulation. The care became control. The I love yous became weapons, wrapped in warmth, to keep you in place. You thought the fights would stop, that the love would heal everything. But it didn't. The anger, the words, the silence, it all piled up until it felt like you were drowning. But you're still here, still waiting, still checking your phone like some kind of ritual. You don't even know why anymore. You know you deserve better, but the thought of letting go feels like you'd be losing a piece of yourself. There's a strange addiction to pain. It's not love, but you cling to it as if it is. Because pain feels familiar. Pain feels like something you know. And somewhere deep inside, you've convinced yourself that if you just loved harder, fought harder, maybe you could fix it. Fix them. It's the trauma bond. The thing that keeps you stuck. You've become addicted to the cycle, to the highs and lows of love. The oxytocin that once made you feel like you were floating now dances with cortisol, the stress hormone that makes you feel like you're dying inside. The highs feel so high, but the lows, they're so crushing, so devastating, that you wonder if you'll ever breathe again. And that's the trap. The brain loves the familiarity. It doesn't care if it's good for you, craves what it knows. And so you find yourself stuck. Every message, every "I miss you" makes you think, maybe this time will be different. But it never is. Because the truth is, love isn't always light. Sometimes, love is a cage. How do you let go when you've convinced yourself that pain is what you deserve? That the person who hurt you is the person who is supposed to heal you? How do you break free from the chains you've locked yourself into? You can't stop loving them, but you can start loving yourself. It won't be easy. It won't happen overnight. But the first step is admitting that the love you were holding on to wasn't love at all. It was a lie. And the real love, it has to come from you. The hardest part of healing is realizing that the person you've been chasing, the person who has been haunting your mind, doesn't even recognize the love they took from you. They don't see the damage they've done, the pieces they've shattered, the trust they've broken. They don't understand that you've been left with empty promises and leftover feelings that won't ever grow into something beautiful. You've been feeding a flame that was never meant to burn. And now, here you are, holding the ashes. You find yourself in the quiet moments. When the world outside is moving, people are laughing, walking, talking, living. And yet, all you can hear is the silence they left behind. It's like a loud echo in your chest. You wonder, if you stop waiting for them, will it make you less of who you are? Will it erase everything you believed in? Will it make the love you gave them feel meaningless? But here's the raw truth. The love you gave wasn't meaningless. You were just giving it to someone who wasn't ready to hold it. And somewhere along the way, you gave too much of yourself away. It wasn't love that broke you. It was the way you learned to shrink, to hide, to deny who you really were, just to fit into their world. You erased yourself, thinking it was the only way to make them stay. But that's the lie they've sold you. The lies are subtle, wrapped in moments that look like love. I need you. You make me better. You're the only one I trust. Words, endless words, that feel like they fill the space when your soul is too empty to fight. But those words, that love, they were never yours to keep, and now you're left with nothing but the echo of their absence. This is where it starts to get real. You can't change the past. You can't erase what they did to you, but you can decide what happens next. The truth is, your heart can heal, but only if you start learning how to love yourself, not in the way you once loved them, but in a way that acknowledges your worth. In a way that stops the cycle of giving everything to someone who doesn't deserve it. Healing isn't linear. There's no perfect path forward. There are days you'll want to scream, days you'll wish they would come back, days you'll feel like you can't do this. But in those moments, it's important to remember, you are not weak for feeling this way. You're human. You're allowed to feel everything you're feeling. And that's the first step to breaking free from the chains they've placed on your soul. Take a moment. Feel the emptiness, the hurt, the longing. But don't let it define you. Don't let it drown you. Because the moment you start accepting the pain is the moment you begin to reclaim yourself. It won't be easy, and it won't happen overnight. But little by little, you'll find your feet again. You'll start to remember who you were before them. You'll start to love yourself, even in the broken parts. There are days where the scars will feel fresh. The wounds might sting. But the real beauty of healing is that it makes you whole again. It's like taking all the shattered pieces and gluing them back together, stronger, more resilient. You will rise. You will rebuild. You will love. But this time you'll love yourself first. You'll put yourself above anyone else. And that is the most powerful act of self-love you could ever give. And when you begin to rebuild, you'll realize something profound. Your worth was never tied to the person who left you broken. It wasn't about how they saw you, how they treated you, or whether they came back. It was always about how you saw yourself. In those quiet moments when you're alone with your thoughts, you might find yourself drifting back into old patterns. The need to please, to make amends, to fix what can never be fixed. But here's the hardest pill to swallow. You were never broken. They never had the power to destroy your essence, your spirit. They just convinced you that they did. And that's the most dangerous part of all, letting someone convince you that your value is something they get to decide. When you start to heal, you'll start to see the red flags you missed before. The manipulations, the gaslighting, the emotional abuse that you turned a blind eye to, thinking it was just a phase. You'll see that love isn't supposed to feel like a battlefield, a war of wills, where the strongest survive and the others are left scattered in pieces. Love is supposed to be a refuge, a place where you can breathe, where you can be yourself. But somewhere along the line, you got lost in their story, in their drama, in their needs. And yet, it's almost too easy to slip back into that place. To believe the lie that love can be pain. That being loved is about sacrifice. That love, in its purest form, is supposed to hurt. That love means staying, even when it crushes you. But that's the tragedy. That's the cycle. And that's where you have to stop. You have to stop believing that love means being smaller. That love means losing yourself. And so the work begins. The slow, steady process of unlearning everything they taught you. You have to unlearn the belief that love equals pain. You have to rewrite the narrative that has been burned into your soul. And that means looking at yourself with the same tenderness, the same compassion that you once reserved for them. Reclaiming your self-worth is a process of peeling away the layers of shame and guilt they left behind. It's about learning that your flaws do not define you. They make you human. It's about realizing that the scars, they're a part of your story, not the end of it. This healing journey isn't linear. There will be days when you feel like you've taken 10 steps backward. There will be moments when you're tempted to pick up the phone, to message them, to check for a response. You might still miss them. You might still love them. But this time you'll be different. You'll be stronger. Because this time you'll love yourself more than you ever loved them. It's okay to miss the connection. It's okay to feel the grief. But the true test, the true moment of liberation, comes when you stop letting their absence define you. When you realize that you are not incomplete without them. You are whole. You are enough. And you always have been. Now, the question becomes, would you rather lose them or lose yourself? Because at some point, the only way forward is to choose yourself. And once you do that, once you step into the light of self-love, you'll understand that loving yourself isn't selfish. It's the bravest thing you'll ever do. It's the first step to truly healing. It's the first step to freedom. If something in this story resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Let these stories reach those who might need to hear them. Because you are never alone on this journey. Together, we can create a space where everyone feels heard and understood. And if you think the healing journey is easy, don't miss our next episode, Why Healing Hurts Before It Heals. Because sometimes we have to feel the pain before we can truly heal. We'll dive deep into why healing isn't just a smooth path, but a necessary struggle to become stronger. See you in the next episode, and remember, you deserve love and care, especially from yourself.